In politics, you're either on message or you are losing. Let's get to it. Welcome to On Message, our weekly look at where the battle lines are drawn and who is winning the war of words. This week, world-class response. The World Cup of football is in full swing in Qatar, and there has been no shortage of tension on and off the pitch. Many in the Western world have openly questioned the ethics of awarding such a high-profile sporting event to a nation that has a dubious record on human rights. That includes the treatment of thousands of migrant workers who helped build the infrastructure to host the games, 500 of whom have died, the Qatari government has admitted. It also extends to the freedom of expression for fans attending the events, as security teams deny entry to patrons wearing apparel deemed unacceptable and confiscating anything that might send any unapproved message to a world audience. Now, on the field, a win-or-go-home match for the American team against Iran also brought with it pressures beyond just the final score. As protests for women's rights continue to flare in Iran, the U.S. team's social media accounts posted and then deleted an image of the Iranian flag without the emblem of the Islamic Republic, which was meant to be a show of support that sparked an official complaint to FIFA's ethics committee from Iran. So yeah, there was a lot going on. And you might expect the tension to reach its highest point once the game actually kicked off. But there was a potentially even more contentious point in the pre-match press conference when U.S. midfielder Tyler Adams took a challenging question from an Iranian reporter.
First of all, you say you support the Iranian people, but you're pronouncing our country's name wrong. Our country is named Iran, not Iran. Please, once and for all, let's get this clear. Second of all, are you okay to be representing a country that has so much discrimination against black people in its own borders?
My apologies on the mispronunciation of your country. Yeah, that being said, you know, there's discrimination everywhere you go. You know, one thing that I've learned, especially from living abroad in the past years and having to fit in different cultures and kind of assimilate into different cultures, is that in the U.S. we're continuing to make progress every single day. Like you just educated me now on the pronunciation of your country. So yeah, it's a process. I think as long as you see progress, that's the most important thing.
Now that's a more difficult question than athletes routinely field in these press conferences. It has elements of accusation, geopolitics, and is clearly looking for more than just information. Adams handled it brilliantly. The first thing he did right was tackle the reporter's frustration head on. He apologized without returning malice or offering any excuse. Spot on, case closed, and we move on. Now, the second thing he did right was not answer a yes-no question with either yes or no. Once the question had been asked, he answered from his perspective, sharing his experience about living abroad and having to assimilate into other cultures. That experience has given him broader perspective that the issues we face in the U.S. are not uniquely American struggles. The third element, and maybe the most important one, is that he maintained his cool, even as the question was framed as a thinly veiled accusation. Adams did America proud, not by ducking a question, but by remaining calm and collected when the heat got turned up. No doubt it's a useful skill in competition, and it proved to be even more useful as he briefly spoke for a nation. That's it for this week. More On Message in the next issue of the Utah Political Underground. Make sure you visit the site and sign up for our weekly email update. You can find more On Message videos, in-depth Utah political stories and analysis, plus podcasts and more at utahpoliticalunderground.com.